extraterrestrial aliens and the women of the Vril Society of Germany. Did Maria Ostrich obtain extraterrestrial technology? It's very strange, all these women with the long hair. The society allegedly taught concentration exercises designed to awaken Vril energy, the strongest in women with long hair, that fed magnetic energy from the earth to their brain, and they believed that their long hair acted as cosmic antenna to receive alien communication from beyond. I wonder if various cultures of the earth had the same belief having to do with their long hair. So the Real Society in Germany, led by Maria Orsitsch, who in pre-World War II Germany conducted research into psychic phenomenon and advanced propulsion of UFO technology. According to many, her research group conspired with Hitler to make advanced spaceships, of which blueprint was later found, and in the end she vanished without a trace. Maria Ostrich, known as Maria Orsitsch, was a famous medium who later became the leader of the Vril Society. She was born 31st October 1895 in Zagreb. Her father was a Croatian and her mother was a German from Vienna. The mystery of Maria Orsitsch. Maria was first mentioned and pictured in 1967 by Berger and Pauwels in their book Aufbruch ins Drittjahrtausend von der, I'm not even going to pronounce that. Maria soon followed the German national movement, which was active after World War I, a movement whose objective was territorial and political accession to Germany. In 1919, she moved to Munich with her boyfriend and fiancé. It's not known whether they were married or not, since both disappeared in 1945. That's after the war. In Munich, Maria was in contact with the Vril Society from the beginning and soon created her own inner circle with Traut A., another Munich medium, and other friends. And this group was called Alldeutsche Gesellschaft für Metaphysics, something having to do with metaphysics, the official name of the Real Society. All of them were young girls, although somewhat peculiar since they were staunch opponents of the new fashion for short hair among women. Both Maria and Traut had very long hair, one blonde and the other brown. They wore very long pigtails and very rare hairstyles for the 20th century. As expected, this soon became a characteristic of all the women who made up the so-called Vril Society, which is said to have existed until 1945. And it was not by sheer whim, since they firmly believed that their long manes, their hair, acted as a cosmic antenna mode to receive communications outside of our world. On the other hand, in public, they never exhibited their hair in ponytail, but preferred to wear it down to attract less attention. As identification, the members of the Vril Society, also called Vrillerinnen, carried a disc that represented two of the most important mediums of the group, Maria Orsitsch and Sigrun. And in December 1919, a small group of people from Vril, Vril and DHVSS, acronym for Men of the Black Stone, these societies, including Maria and Sigrun, rented a small cabin near Berchtesgaden in Germany. Maria then affirms that she has received a series of mediumistic transmissions in a kind of a writing that she calls Templar Germanic, in a language that she claims she does not know, but that they contain information of the technical nature for the construction of a machine. Supposed documents belonging to the Real Society mention that said telepathic messages come from Aldebaran, 68 light years away, in the constellation of Taurus. As for the documents, it said that Maria had two piles of papers resulting from these telepathic trances, one with the unknown handwriting and the other perfectly legible. And as for the latter, Maria suspected that it might be written in an archaic form of what might be a Near Eastern language. With the help of a group closer to the Thule Society known as the Pan-Babylonianists, made of Hugo Winkler, Peter Jensen, and Friedrich Delitzsch, among others, they were able to find out that this language would be none other than ancient Sumerian. the language of the founders of ancient Babylon. Sigrun helped to translate the message and in the process to decipher the strange images of the circular flying artifact that appeared in the other pile of papers. The concept of the many things that are put into the alternative science drawer matured in these years and in those that were to come immediately afterwards. The fact is that due to financing difficulties, the project for the construction of said flying apparatus took 3 years to get underway. Supposedly by 1922, different parts of the prototype had been independently manufactured in various factories financed by the Vril Society and the Vril Society. At the end of November 1924, Maria visited Rudolf Hess in his Munich apartment together with Rudolf von Sebendorf, the founder of the Vril Society. Sebendorf wanted to contact Dietrich Eckart, who had passed away the previous year. Eckart had translated Ibsen's play into German and published the magazine Auf gut Deutsch. He was also a member of the Vril Society. In order to contact Eckart, Sebotendorf Maria, Rudolf Hess, and other Vril members clasped their hands around a table covered in a black cloth. Hess began to feel uncomfortable having to see how Maria went into a trance, and the orbits of her eyes moved backwards, revealing only the white of these, and having to bear seeing her consume in spasms sitting in the chair with an unpleasant grimace in her mouth. Instead, Sebendorf was satisfied to see how Eckhart's voice began to emerge from the lips of the medium, but something unexpected happened. Eckhart announced that he was being forced by someone or something to leave the room for another voice to manifest through the medium with an important message. Eckhart's voice disappeared to give rise to the disturbing and unpleasing voice that identified itself as, quote, the Sumi, inhabitants of a distant world that orbits the star Aldebaran in the constellation that you call Taurus the Bull. None could help but look at the other companions with wide eyes due to the surprisingness of what was happening. Supposedly, according to the strange voice, the Sumi were a humanoid race that would have colonized the Earth 500 million years ago. The ruins of Larsa, Shurupak, and Nippur in Iraq would have been built by them. Those who survived the great flood of Ut-Napishtim would have become the ancestors of the Aryan race. Sebotendorf, skeptical of such information, demanded evidence. While Maria was still in a trance, she scribbled a series of lines on which some Sumerian characters could be seen. In December 1943, Maria and Sigrun attended a meeting organized by the Vril Society on the seashore in Kolberg. Supposedly, the main objective of this meeting was to debate the Aldebaran project. The mediums of the Vril Society would have received telepathic information about habitable planets around Aldebaran and planned to travel there. Apparently, this project was discussed again on January 22, 1944, in a meeting between Hitler, Himmler, Dr. W. Schumann, scientist professor at the Technical University of Munich, and Kunkel of the Vril Society. It was decided that a prototype Vril 7 Jager, Hunter in German, would be sent through a supposed dimensional channel outside the speed of light in the direction of Aldebaran. According to the writer, N. Rathofer, the first test back on this dimensional channel took place in late 1944. The test almost set it in disgrace because after the flight, the Vril 7 looked as if it had been flying for hundreds of years, and not only because of its appearance, but also because it also had damage to many of its components. Maria Orsitsch lost track of her in 1945. On March 11, 1945, a supposed internal document of the Real Society was sent to all its members, a letter written by Maria Orsitsch. The letter ends by saying, Niemand beit her, no one is here. That's what the letter says, no one is here. This would be the last communication sent by the Real Society And since then, no one has heard from Maria Orsitsch or any of the other members. Many continue to believe that they fled to Aldebaran. So, what do you think about this? Very strange. This is on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.